Hey guys, it's a beautiful day outside today. Um, though I have to admit, what I have to speak about is not as beautiful. Oh, that's the way the world is now, isn't it? Um, it's just a mess sometimes, huh? I guess it's a different story depending on what you listen to on any given day and who you speak with and uh, what you avoid, right? Anyway, I don't want to keep you on here long. I guess I wanted to. That's my paper. That's my paper with my notes. Um, I wanted to weigh in on the Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro saga. I'm sure it's at an advanced stage since she made her departure from the Daily Wire. I guess I don't have anything significant to contribute other than I don't understand why people take anything that Candace Owens or Ben Shapiro says too seriously. I listened to Candace Owens a few times a year ago, and I knew that she was not the woman to listen to. And then, I don't remember what it was about, but I heard Ben Shapiro at least once or twice. Because, these things pop up on your feed sometimes, on my feed. And I just thought that he was not a person of reason. He presented himself as such, but he was not. And now here we are. And if you listen very carefully, you'll see that they are both more similar than dissimilar. It is impossible to go through all the things that both of them have said in their past years, but I will say this and just try to keep it short. I am from Connecticut, just like Candace Owens is. I'm older than her, though. And then in my 20s, I moved to the South. So I have experience as a Northerner and a Southerner. Although I have to admit, I can't completely say I was embraced in the South fully. Anyway, yes, I grew up in Connecticut for over 2 decades. And I've had better experiences in Connecticut than I have had in the South. It really bothered me when Candace Owens denied that racism is an issue in America. And then to find out later that when she was in high school, she actually filed a lawsuit. Part of the basis of that lawsuit was that she was called racial slurs. She also justified the harm, the death, the mistreatment, the shooting against Ahmaud Arbery. Maybe in the future, if she came out and said her mind was in the wrong place when she made those comments, or if she even just said that she was pandering, I still would look at her sideways. Because just like Nikki Haley, how a person that is black, a person that has Indian roots, a person that is Mexican, a person that is Latino, a person that is Asian could say that there is no systemic racism in America and really try to convince others that that is a fact. It's my opinion. Should lead nothing. Especially when you find out that they sued their former school. Sorry, that's a loud truck. They sued their former school on the premise that the guys that were saying the racial slurs to her, the guys that were bullying her, the guys that were mistreating her, did that because they were racist. She and her father, I believe, that's what the newspaper article said, the Honor. I think it was, nope, sorry, thehour.com, January 29th, 2008. Stanford Board of Education settled federal lawsuit for $37,000. $37,000, roughly, in 2008. Because the school refused to protect Candace Owens from death threats, racial slurs, sexual slurs. Here we have Ahmaud Arbery in, I believe, 2020 that was shot in his back. And some of those slurs that she is acquainted with were used against him online and are right now being looked at in the appellate court in Georgia. When she was mistreated, when she was abused due to racism, I believe the article also said that she had the NAACP by her side, which is also what the Arbery family has by their side. If there is no systemic racism, if there is no racism at all, how do you explain the things that happened to you, Candace Owens, in 2008, now all the way to 2020, when Arbery got shot in his back by the three men in the pickup truck that hunted him down and chased him down, that were yelling and posting what is probably some of the same epithets that were used towards you. How do you explain that? Now, I understand that you have made a persona of rising to the occasion and overcoming. But you got money from what happened to you. Based on the conclusion that you were mistreated due to race. How could you say then that Ahmaud Arbery brought his own death on himself when it was established that he did not steal anything? He was looking at a house. Those things should cause people to pause and look at her like crazy. She'd also made remarks in her past about the lynchings. The lynchings of black people during the civil rights era in Jim Crow. She had brought up a statistic that said, I think it was 3,500 people were killed, black people were killed from 1882 to 1968. She said that that was relatively low in number to the population at the time. Right then, everybody should have stopped listening to her. Because she speaks callously about the deaths of people that were treated horribly. How can you take someone seriously that speaks about lynching like that? Now, fast forward all these years later, after she's developed her persona a little bit more, she speaks for the Palestinians. She says that genocide is wrong. I believe that's what her tweet said. Candace on genocide. No government has a right to commit genocide ever. I looked up the definition, one of the definitions of genocide, just so we're clear. Genocide is the deliberate killing or severe mistreatment of a large number of people from a national or ethnic group who aim to destroy. What is lynching, Candace Owens? What is lynching? So you stick up for the Palestinians, which they should be stuck up for. Go back and look at my last few videos that have been banned, probably. Suppressed a little bit. And you'll see that I agree with you on that point. Palestinians should be stuck up for. Palestinians should not be suffering right now. But to honor their pain and invalidate the pain of people that were lynched, that are black, just like you, and act like they're two different things. What kind of person does that? Now she's missing in action. And then her former co-worker, if you want to call him that, Ben Shapiro, he's making the rounds. It's a circus. It is a circus. How anybody listens to him after all the things that he has said. But most importantly, recently, that people should work until they are 70 years old. Though the data shows, if it's not corrupted, cross your fingers, you gotta hope. As we know who collects these data sometimes, right? That the World Health Organization said that as of 2019, I think that's what they said. Curiously, that's before you know what. That I'm trying to look. Life expectancy rose from the years between 2000 to 2019. It rose from the age of 66 all the way to 73. But this is only as of 2019. Post-COVID, we have yet to see the data on that. Anyway, how on earth can people take Ben Shapiro seriously when he believes people should work to an age that exceeds almost life expectancy? So people are supposed to work until the day they die, I suppose, and never catch a break in life, which you know nothing about. How can you take someone seriously that doesn't take into consideration how the body deteriorates physically? He uses Joe Biden as a symbol of health. He uses Joe Biden as an example of, well, he's working till he's 81. Look at him. Yeah, Joe Biden is not the person to look at for a sign of health and neurological well-being. And I don't need to be a doctor to know that. I and other people have grandparents I and other people have worked in nursing homes. I and other people know about Alzheimer's. Uh, but if you don't believe that, the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons had an annual report in 2023 that said that between the years of 2012 and 2022, they had a 23% increase of hip and knee procedures, 3 million to be exact, between those years. Do you know what that means, Ben Shapiro? It means that people can't use their legs and their hips to stand up without getting surgery. This is not a matter of purpose and tying your career to purpose. This is not, maybe that is for you who gets to sit down. This is a matter of actually having the ability to work that long, without having low cognitive function and your kneecaps disintegrating. You can't take somebody seriously who doesn't know these things, but they talk about them so nonchalantly. He screams privilege like he has a bugle horn on top of the tallest building one could find. There are many people that have jobs that just will not make it. Why can't they have a break before they break? I believe that that's why Nikki Haley was out of there. I knew it when she said it. I'll tell you a quick story. She said that people needed to work forever too. You see, she had to throw in the towel, right? I knew that was going to happen. I said, gosh, she must have not been serious about winning anything. Why would you say that to people when the biggest demographic, the biggest populations in our country have to stand up and walk for years, for days, without end in sight, and tell them, yeah, we're just going to extend that. We're going to extend that until you can't do it anymore. Bear in mind that most people can't afford health care, and Medicare doesn't cover everything. So how would they replace these hips? How would they replace these bones? How would they continue to work? When Nikki Haley said that, I said, oh, watch, she's done. And I could judge that just from one morning. I was getting ready to get up, and I heard my husband over the sink brushing his teeth, getting ready to go to work. And he had also heard previously what Nikki Haley said. And let's just say, he said that, I was like, I know he's not talking about me, right? We've been married for years, but, if I get on his nerves, who knows? He could call me that one day too, huh? So I was like, I know he's not talking about me. Maybe I had annoyed him. So I said to him, who are you talking about? He's like, what's she talking about? Thinking people can work until they can't stand anymore, right? And I knew just from that, because my husband just usually stays out of the whole political thing. I knew she was done. You can't have a bunch of people that are sitting down flapping their gums all day, telling people that have to stand up with swollen legs, broken veins, arthritic hands, fatigue, and chronic illness. That, yeah, go get some more of that. So now what? We have Candace Owens, who left the Daily Wire, and we have Ben Shapiro, who doesn't want to talk about it, which I find interesting, because this is probably going to end up being a case of employment some kind of employment law situation. You know what it is. If you know, you know. Maybe they'll just pay her out. I don't know what her contract stipulated, but... Or maybe she'll go off to say, it was a hostile work environment. She had a constructive resignation, and Ben Shapiro just can't say anything. So then he's throwing out all these legalese reasons as to why he can't speak, right? And they both just sound silly. They sound like two little silly people that are trying to outdo each other. If you listen to them too long, you will also become silly. Use your common sense. It's clear that they don't have any. Anyway, bye-bye.